I like apples. Really. Bananas too. But as much as I like fruit of all kinds, if someone told me that eating an apple would kill me, I could probably put it down. So it's kind of hard to understand why Adam and Eve ate the fruit of the tree at the center of the Garden of Eden, when God specifically told them they would die if they did. Well, let's take a look at the Bible to find out what eating the fruit really means, so we don't commit the fall like Adam and Eve did. First, let's figure out what kind of tree the fruit came from. God placed two trees in the center of the Garden of Eden, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now, it's important to know that there is also a tree of life in the paradise of God, as described in the book of Revelation. That tree of life, though, is a parable for Jesus. But Jesus wasn't in the Garden of Eden, was he? The thing is, Jesus and Adam had the same mission for their respective time periods. Both were sent by the Trinity to begin God's new history, Adam in the Old Testament and Jesus in the New Testament. Adam, then, is the tree of life in the Garden of Eden. Second, then what's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Well, it's the counterpart of the tree of life, of course. And who else could be Adam's counterpart but Eve? Third, then what does eating the fruit mean? To answer, we need to understand what it means that God placed the two trees in the center of the Garden of Eden. That's figurative speech. God loved and valued Adam and Eve above all creation, and so in that sense, they were the center of God's universe. Now we'll miniaturize that principle. If we consider the human body to be the Garden of Eden, what is at the center? Physically, it is a person's sexual organs, with which two human beings share love and create children. Spiritually, it is the heart, mind, and thoughts of love. So what fruit did Eve share with Adam that led them to being banished from Eden? Physically, it was the fruit of her own body. Adam and Eve had a sexual relationship without God's consent. Spiritually, it was the fruit of loving each other before loving God. Among the results, they covered their genitals out of a sense of guilt, and Eve became pregnant. God had created human beings for the purpose of sharing love with Him, but Satan tempted Adam and Eve to love each other instead. This was like adultery to God, and it broke His heart. So He cast them out of Eden and never spoke to them again. It would take thousands of years before someone else could be raised to restore this fallen relationship. Adam and Eve were eventually supposed to share love with each other and have children, but first they needed to mature fully in body, soul, and spirit. Then their love for each other wouldn't interfere with loving God first. This, then, is the fall. Human beings give their love to someone or something other than God first. More specifically, for Adam and Eve, eating the fruit was sharing their bodies as well through sexual love. To this day, tempting human beings sexually is Satan's favorite method of turning us away from God, who loves us more than anyone or anything else ever can. Now that you know, it's time to reflect. Have you committed the fall with your body or thoughts? Please repent, realizing that it has broken God's heart. Realize the pain and sorrow the Trinity and all human beings have suffered for thousands of years. You are meant to be a bride of the Trinity and the Lord. Your fruit of love, you yourself are meant for them. Remember, just like he did against Adam and Eve, Satan will use the fruit to tempt you to fall. But no matter how tempting it is, for the love of God, don't eat that fruit.